Tell you what, they know how to interpret stuff so differently. If anybody knows, that song was from Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Life. Just a little bit of information, that was the very first album that I purchased with my own money. I mean, talk about spirit. I mean, it just blows my mind at how something so insignificant as a little album, actually that was a double album, but it can unfold so perfectly to be the talk of today's service. And so, like with everything else I do, I can never do anything conventional. That's just not who I am. I just can't be A to B to C. I've got to be all over the place and just what happens, happens. And so that's why I have Jerry Lynn here noodling on the keyboards for me. So, I want to go over a couple of lyrics, and the reason why I picked this. As a spiritual center, we talk about spirit as energy, formless. But there are other faiths and religions out there that do put a gender on spirit. And because of who and what we are here, we honor all faiths. So I wanted to leave the song lyrics alone so that they were sung properly. So here we go. There are people who have let the problems of today lead them to conclude life is for them is not the way. But every problem has an answer, and it's yours. And if it's yours you cannot find, you should talk it over with him. He'll give you peace of mind. How many people have had problems, have had doubts with their life about what's going on? Yeah, amen to that, right? I'm right there. There's been some times, I tell you what, that I've sat alone in a corner and just go, what's the point of all of this sort of stuff? But then there was something inside me, some sort of spark. Couldn't hear it, but I felt it. That there was something else to just go that next day. What's tomorrow? Don't worry about what's happening today. Today is just temporary. There's always something better tomorrow. Something like over the rainbow. So then the next lyric is, many of us feel we walk alone without a friend, never communicating with the one who lives within. Let me just stop right there. Again, we talk about spirit is everywhere. We are the body of spirit in form. That means that each and every one of you has the essence of spirit inside of you, that spark, that intuition, that drive. And sometimes life kind of puts blankets on top of that passion, and it kind of squelches it. But my talk today here is to help you take those blankets off, to reveal that truth that is within you, that you are limitless, that all you have to do is say yes to that spark inside of you. Because I can tell you this right now, spirit only knows one word, and that word is yes. It is done unto you as you believe. So you believe it, so it is true, so it is done. So if you are tired of living the truth of what you were told to live up until now, today is the day of atonement. Today is the day of change. Second part, forget all about the one who never ever lets you down. You can talk to him anytime. He's always around. Reiterating what I just said, spirit is everywhere. Spirit is inside of you. It's inside of me. So there is no time that you are alone. We sometimes just need to be quiet, be still, and hear that inner voice that guides us, but better yet, inspires us. What is that inspiration that you have inside of you? It's yours to find out. I can't tell you what your passion is, but I know that the intuitive self that's inside of you knows exactly what that is. Well, he's the only free psychiatrist, like Jerry Lynn just said, only free psychiatrist that's known throughout the world for solving all the problems of women, little boys, and girls. That's exactly right. Spirit can only say yes. It cannot deny you your truth. If you think it's going to be a bad day, Spirit says yes and will prove to you that you were right because you were always right. Since that is the case, if you want to change your life, change your thoughts. By changing those thoughts and by sitting in here and hearing all of us talk about what you can do, believe it within yourself. Because God cannot deny. God can only express through experience, can only express through thought. And as our mission statements on the board, love only. That is the power behind your thoughts. When you come from that place of love and understanding, first and foremost, for yourself, you must love yourself. When we talk about forgive everything, I bet 90% of you thought about forgiving somebody else, what they did to you. How about starting with just forgive yourself? Forgive everything. Everything that I ever thought, everything that I believed, every misinformation that I've told myself about me. That's a lot of pain. That's a lot of change. So forgive yourself. This day, right now, I give you the permission. I give you the calling to forgive yourself. Whatever transgressions that you've created in your life, right now, put that down. Because nothing lives in the past. There's only now. There's only this moment. This moment of what you choose to live and learn and do and think. And when you come from a place of love, those actions can be nothing less than expansive, inclusive. When you can change yourself with love, you change the world with love. So my talk is the key to life. And so, like Stevie Wonder said, just have a talk with God. It's the one that lives within. That spirit, that power, that passion. Find out what it is, regardless of your age. It doesn't matter if you're 98. I'm sure there's a passion there within you. Just live it from that moment forward. It allows joy and happiness. And by living in that vibrational energy of spirit, it can do nothing less than change the world. We also like to do it as one heart at a time. But you know what? I've got over 100 people here listening to me. I'm saying one sentence, but each and every one of you are hearing it in a different manner. It doesn't matter because I'm saying it with love. And that innately resonates with each and every one of you. Now, when we talk about music, I wanted to bring in Jerry Lynn here because this keyboard, I love analogies. Because when you start talking about conceptual ideas and big, massive ideas, universal scales and quantum this and quantum that, I'm like, okay, yeah, I can hammer a board and put it together, and I can build a house. How does quantum deal with that for me? But analogies in this keyboard and Jerry Lynn and the passion that she has for her talents, saying yes to what was inside of her. She's sitting here. And so there's 88 keys on a keyboard, all the way from that bass note, all the way up to the highs. Glass of water, I think I needed a hum. Don't have me sing, believe me. I was thinking about singing that song, and Elizabeth goes, no. I said, but I can hit it. I can hit that key. No, you can't, sweetheart. But this keyboard represents everyone's life. So when you talk about God being this all-powerful, this infinite being, this infinite power intelligence, how can it be there for me? How can there be so much diversity? Well, here's a keyboard, a simple little keyboard, but there's stuff and music that's created from classical style of music to a little bit more funk. There we go. Oh, there we go. To a little bit of rock and roll. But it's all the same keys. So what is your key? A, B, C, D, E, F, or G? What is your key? And I thought that was a great little line there, thinking about keys and, that single note. But that does not encapsulate our philosophy here, and it doesn't encapsulate you. To say that you are a key means that you're one-dimensional. You can only be this and nothing else. It's too one-dimensional. You are a chord. And a chord, Jerry Lynn, is a multiple of notes to create one sound. Is that correct? So instead of being just a key, I want you to look at yourself as a chord, a multiples of notes. And that multiple of notes can lie anywhere on this keyboard, creating feelings. So when you play those bass notes, that feels a little bit more powerful, a little bit more assured of yourself. While as you go up to the high notes, it seems a little bit more ethereal, a little bit more light, a little bit more contemplative. So with that type of dynamic range that you have within just 88 keys, imagine the dynamics that you have within yourself. So I'd like you to look at your life in accordance with a keyboard. What type of song are you playing? The vibrations or frequencies are all around us. We are hearing things all the time, mostly subconsciously. Jerry Lynn's been playing here the whole time. I don't know if half of you've really heard it, but it's there in the background. And I want to talk to that. The last word, subconsciously. A lot of people live their life in that state of mind, of subconscious, below consciousness. We just go through the motions of life, okay? Bring, it's 7 o'clock. Okay, got to wake up, brush my teeth, take a shower, got to put socks on. Okay, I like to do a sock in a shoe, a sock in a shoe. And then I got my wife that does the sock, shoe thing. But we go through life on a subconscious level. But it's my job here today, this talk here today, to get you out of that, to wake you up, to be conscious that you are not just going through life, that you are co-creating your life at every single second. So if you're not happy with where you are now, just change that thought. Spirit can only say yes. Now, just because you change your mind today doesn't mean that, poof, it's automatically changed. There's work that has to be done. I can't put a pole in the ground without digging out and shoveling out dirt. I can think all day that, okay, I'm going to put a pole right here and put up a fence, but I've got to do the work. But eventually my work pays off, and that thought, that manifestation creates that pole in that ground. Through me working with Spirit, in tune with myself, no pun intended, thank you, I got one laugh. You can put that pole in the ground. But that pole is an analogy. It can be anything. Change your life by changing your thinking. You are not what you are told, you are what you know. This is a big thing, and this is part of my blog. Growing up, I'm sure a lot of us were told who and what you are. You're a good boy. You're a bad boy. Oh, you can't do that. It's too dangerous. Oh, no. Oh, we're Conways. We don't do that sort of stuff. But then you begin to believe that. And that is the beginning of the fence that your parents, your friends, your life has started to create around your heart. That fence, one hole at a time that you've dug because you bought into the belief that you were something less than, that you are not this all-powerful being in this body wanting to experience itself. Because I tell you what, from my understanding, when you talk about spirit being this energy, all-knowing, omnipresent, how can it experience itself but only through us, through our life, through our interacting with each other? Spirit can live and act as and through us. So just like music, as you start to learn how to play, there's a nice little ditty called Chopsticks. Am I right? It's one of the things that... Oh, there we go. That kind of sounds like your life in the beginning, doesn't it? Like when you're a little kid playing, running up and down the streets with your G.I. Joes and your dolls. And, you know, if you got that Red Ryder for Christmas, you know, make sure you don't shoot your eye out. But you started off with a simple little tune like this because that's how you learned how to play and live in life. But then, as you grow older, you start making mistakes and hitting a wrong key here and there. But don't give up, because you can always learn to get better. And those chopsticks can become and unfold to be whatever music that's inside of you that it wants to play. Jerry Lynn, what's inside of you right now this second? There you go. That type of playing right there started from chopsticks. But the passion and the knowing of who and what she is, that drive, that spark, that love that she has inside of her, allows her to be up here and on a moment's notice be able to change her tune to anything she wants it to be. I'm telling you that even though you may not be a musician of an instrument, you are the musicians of your own life. You have the power to change your tune at any second. You can go on believing that tune that you were told to play, or you can find that tune, that passion that is within you, no matter how well hidden you think that it is. If you just sit and listen, you will hear that tune come out. Find your song. What is your style? What's the tempo? What's the BPM? Now, for those of you who don't know, I have a son who's an electrician, but he loves his music. BPM stands for beats per minute. He's one of those guys that he can't play an instrument to save his life, but he can get on that computer and make music, and he goes off to Vegas for a weekend and does some sort of venue out there. Then he goes out to the desert where there's no electricity. They bring all their stuff. They bring a stage, and they just have a dance party, and that's his passion. Now, his style of music is not mine, but I tell you what, as a father, growing up the way that I did, being told what you could and couldn't be, I made it a vow to myself and to my unborn children at the time that I would not be that. So I have a 30-something-year-old son who has his style of music. It is not my taste, but I tell you what, when he calls me up and says, "Dad, I got this new song, I want you to hear it," I will listen to it. And I will say, that is wonderful. And that's not lying, because it is wonderful. I can see and hear what it took to create that music. And I appreciate that, and I honor that, and I want that to grow. I want that passion in him to grow so that that passion of his music can be a passion of what he does for a life, because it's all one thing as we talk about here. You cannot just define your life as I'm an electrician, or I'm a sandblaster, or I'm a reverend. I'm not one thing. I'm not a single note. I'm a chord, damn it. And exactly. So buckle up, Buttercup. Everybody loves it when I do that one. But I'm here to tell you up on this stage that you can live that life. Release the chains that have binded you throughout your life. And if you don't have any, great, because you know what? It still doesn't matter, because what I'm saying is true. What I'm saying is resonating. And if you don't need it, you always have friends and people around you who could hear what is being said here today. So I encourage you to spread that love, spread that message that you can be and do anything. So I want you to play your music, to play your song, regardless of how off-tempo or how off-key it may sound to you. It is something that needs to be heard. Be your own truth. Live in that truth. Live in the knowing that Spirit is here for you at every single second of every single day, and it can only say yes. It's your choice how to use it. It doesn't care. So the choice is yours. Use it. Love only. Forgive everything. Remember who you are. And do it now. Thank you. Sherry Lynn.